are talking about exercise today, and more specifically, we are talking about how to deal with exercise and recovery. Because this is the one question that I do seem to get asked quite a lot, is how do you deal with the situation when you're told you're not allowed to exercise and all that. And so today specifically, we are going to talk about how you deal with that, how you deal with not exercising during recovery. Because there was a time where I was banned from exercise, I was banned from going to the gym, and it was so incredibly difficult for me. Exercise formed a very big part of my disorder. My relationship with exercise used to be very disordered, and so that is why in the next video I want to speak about how to repair your relationship with exercise. But today we're specifically looking at how to cope with not exercising, or more specifically just why you shouldn't exercise when you recover. So I am going to be completely honest, I was not very good in this area when I was recovering. I did use deviant methods in order to still exercise despite the fact that I was banned, and I'm not proud of that, but I also just think it's important that we're all open and honest about our experiences so we can be more supportive towards each other. So please do not think that I had some kind of picture-perfect recovery in which I did not struggle immensely with issues around being banned from exercise. Having said that, do not follow my example, because there is a very important reason as to why you are being banned from exercise. And I think sometimes we think that it's because it's going to prevent you from gaining weight or it's going to make you lose more weight. And while yes, of course, that is one potential reason as to why if you are recovering, you shouldn't necessarily be exercising, there's actually a bigger reason why. And unfortunately, as hard as it is to hear this, the main reason why you are probably being banned from exercise and why you shouldn't exercise is to prevent you from dying. Exercise puts immense pressure on your heart, and when you are in the throes of an eating disorder such as anorexia, your heart is already very compromised. I remember in the middle of the night waking up and being able to hear my heart beating, and how frightening that was, and actually how my heart was just struggling so much. And I know we don't like to think about the physiological implications of an eating disorder, and we like to almost divorce that part of an eating disorder from our lives. And I know when I was in that state, I didn't really care about my bones, I didn't really care about my heart, didn't really care about my organs. And I understand that, but sometimes we just need to actually face the facts and understand that actually there's a psychological side to an eating disorder, but there's also huge physiological implications. And one of those things is that the fact that your heart and all of your organs are so hugely compromised. So while I know that we often think about fat in a negative sense, fat actually has a hugely protective function. Fat, we need fat. There is a reason why we have fat in our bodies. And if you do not have fat, visible fat on your body anymore, that also means your organs no longer have fat surrounding them. And fat protects your organs, it provides some kind of structure to keep everything in place. But it also stores really important nutrients that your body should be able to draw on in times of desperate need. When that is depleted, and then on top of that, there is no glucose or glycogen sort of readily available because you are not consuming calories or getting any kind of nutrients. And then you go and exercise on top of all of that. Your body is in a complete state of not actually knowing what on earth to do. And unfortunately, when it just gets to the state where it has just been way too much, there are cases where people with anorexia have gone into full cardiac arrest in the gym and been dead before they hit the floor. And as horrible as that sounds, and as awful and as tragic as it is, that is just one very real reality. And we can't hide from that, and we shouldn't hide from that. We need to know. We need to know that actually it's dangerous. It's dangerous to exercise when you are so starved and depleted of nutrients. And if you have any inclination towards wanting another life for yourself, if you have even the smallest little bit of hope that there might be more to your life than this eating disorder, if you have any dreams for your life, anything that you might want, I don't know if it's children, if it's you want to go to the Eiffel Tower, I don't know, or it's what you want to become a doctor. If you have any of those little dreams just in the back of your mind somewhere, then hold on to those, and whenever you feel tempted to exercise or to do something that could jeopardize your time here on earth, then maybe just think twice. Is it really worth risking your life for the few calories that you're going to burn on a treadmill? Is it not worth listening to your healthcare providers and really, really taking to heart what they are saying to you? Take it into your heart, look after your heart. I don't know, guys, I think it is. I really do think it's worth the discomfort for the sake and the potential of different dreams and ambitions that do not have to do with starvation, punitive exercise, and death. So yeah, I know it's not easy to talk about. I feel very uncomfortable saying these things to you, but I also just think it's important to hear. I have just come to such an incredible appreciation for the human body. And when you really do actually start looking at what makes it up, all of these teeny, tiny little cells just coming together to make a whole person. And that each one of those teeny, tiny little cells has that little mitochondria in it that is able to release energy so that those little cells can live. And as they all live, we live as a human. I think that is really incredible. And when we do not have the energy and we do not have the glucose that our blood needs to pump, that our heart needs to pump that around our body so that all those teeny tiny little cells can be energized and flourish, and then you can flourish. When you're not consuming that, and then you put your body in a very stressed state at a gym where the heart rate shoots up and the heart actually does not have energy to pump at that rate because the heart itself needs energy, then things shut down. And there does come a point where I'm afraid the body just says, I can no longer do this. And you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the person whose body says, I'm sorry, but I can no longer. I don't want you to be that person. I want you to look after yourselves. And one of the biggest ways in which you might just be able to do that right now is just by excluding exercise from your routine. And know that you can come back to exercise when you are healthy and well. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next video, because there is a point at which actually you can get back into exercise, and not from a punitive perspective or even a calorie burning perspective, but just from an enjoyment perspective of getting to move your body, to feel your body in space. And yeah, to feel in touch with who you are as a person on this planet. And that's where you want to get to with exercise. But when exercise is punitive, when it is self-destructive, it's not good. And you need to break free of it. Anyway, guys, that's what I really wanted to say to you. And yeah, I hope that you guys will really just take good care of yourselves. Bye, everyone.